things that I want on the minds of the New York Knicks. Number 5 on the list. Give it to me right now, please. Bam! I don't want to hear about some damn pinky. Give me number 4 right here, please. Bam! Have you seen this brother shoot the basketball? Bam! Right there. This man has to stay out of foul trouble. Give me number 2 on the list, please. Bam! Right there. I'm bringing this up because everybody knows how I've gone off about Mikal Bridges. Number 1 on the list, please. Give it to me, please, right here. This word should not be here, tallest. I saying biggest, because here's why I'm saying Jalen Brunson's got to be bigger than Wemby.
All right, Stephen A., so that was a pretty good A-list earlier in the week. Do you agree with that list after what you saw last night? Were those the keys, and are they the keys moving forward?
Why mess with perfection? Why mess with perfection? The list was absolutely on point. The Knicks went out there, did everything that I said they should do.
Yep.
You understand? Got productions on the defensive side of the ball. Even Mr. Pinky himself, that's what we're going to call Mr. Robinson,
goodness.
even though it was his hand. He showed up. He was rebounding. He was defending. He was a force as a big man, no question. Everybody did their damn job, and they followed Stephen A's script to the letter. I'm very proud. There's no reason to mess with perfection. That A-list was perfect. Let's hold on to it.
Okay.
I gave him an A+ for it.
You still agree with that list, too?
You're damn right I do. Why mess with it? Like you said, Mitchell Robinson came in, and he provided a huge spark. And that damn Landry Shamet.
Yes.
I can't sing enough praises.
5 for 9 from the field. 6 from 3-point range. Showing up again.
But it's on both sides.
He defends.
He brings a certain type of tenacity to that squad.
Yes.
Right? When he comes in, we saw the video. I went back to the hotel room. I couldn't, sit around the arena. I like to watch it in the comfort of my own environment. And I'm watching on the television. I'm saying, oh, he's starting the noise talking. He's starting chirping. Like, you know what I mean? That's what he brings. And so, again, that was on point, A+ list, and they got to stick to the script.
Yeah, I believe when it comes to the NBA Finals, role players will win you games, but stars will win you the series. Obviously, Jalen Brunson was a star that helped you win the series and win the game, rather. But, I'm thinking about what you mentioned about role players and their impact in a single-game scenario. The Knicks didn't have role players. They had stars in their roles because the impact that each player had in key moments, whether it's Shamet, whether it was Josh Hart being huge defensively, you think about the impact. Mikal Bridges even making his free throws when it mattered most. I don't know if you saw how happy he was to knock down those 2 free throws. Yep. Every time there was a necessary possession for someone to step up, they did that, and you'll have to do that and replicate that over and over.
What's been so impressive about the Knicks during this win streak is that they have now won 7 straight road wins on the road, 7 straight for the Knicks now, which is tied for the second longest streak in single postseason NBA history. Only the 2001 Lakers have a stronger and longer streak. All 7 of those road wins have come, by the way, by double digits, the most by a team in a single postseason in NBA history. And so we talk about the win streak, we talk about the win streak on the road. Is this the Knicks' most impressive win in the playoffs last night here in San Antonio?
Listen, you can say impressive because it's the finals and it's against one of the top 2 teams in the NBA. I'll give you that. But listen, I'm not trying to act like the Atlanta Hawks are even comparable to the San Antonio Spurs or anything like that. I know better. But when you're up by 47 points in the first half, I mean, again, to me, it's more of an indictment against Atlanta than it being impressive about the New York Knicks. But I can't ignore the fact that you were up by nearly 50. I haven't seen that. I've seen plenty of teams lose by 50 points plus. I haven't seen them down by 50 in the first half. I mean, to me, I just think the entire coaching staff of the Atlanta Hawks were lucky to walk out the arena with jobs. I'm dead serious. I'm just telling you who I am. I ain't as styling and profiling as I might be. I'm not wearing these shades because of this. I'm wearing the shades because the sun's coming by. But I'm dead serious. I'm not joking when I say this. I'm the kind of boss. I pride myself on being a relatively nice guy. Don't tell the world. I am actually nice. But I will tell you this. There is no way in hell a coach on that staff would have walked out that arena with a job. First half on your home court in a closeout game and you down by 50 I'm not talking about 50 a game, 50-point loss. I'm talking about in the first half. That's just not showing up. There's no excuse for that kind of annihilation to take place in the first 24 minutes of a game. So I would have to say that was the Knicks' most impressive, because that's something I've never seen before. I've never seen somebody down 50 in the first half. I have not seen that.
Was last night the most impressive for you?
Well, I disagree, S.A., and hell yeah, it was.
It was.
You know why? Because it put the world on notice. Because what's been the word on the streets?
The East is weak.
The East is weak, and the winner out of OKC and the Spurs are going to win this series. Some people thought the Spurs actually was going to sweep the Knicks. Oh, the Knicks haven't been tested. And all of a sudden you witness what we've been seeing this entire postseason. The best team in basketball is the New York Knicks. Right now, what you're witnessing is we're watching a team that's on the verge of joining the company of the likes of Golden State and the Los Angeles Lakers, Kobe and Shaq, when it comes to having one of the greatest championship runs ever, record-wise and team-wise. This team is, their offense is already in the history books right now, what they're doing offensively. And defensively, like you said, they are pulling on the clinic. They held the Spurs at home under 95 points. So again, on the big stage with millions of people watching, because I'm pretty sure it was 15 or more million people watching this game. And for us to come back on here this morning and have a discussion, does Wemby have a problem? Think about that for a second. We always just 2 or 3 days ago, or even last week, we probably all have anointed that Wemby is going to be the future face of the NBA. I won't backtrack on that, but I didn't expect to come on here and be saying that Karl Anthony Towns dominated Wemby last night, because he did. Don't look at the stat sheet. Don't look at the stat sheet, because the stat sheet could fool you at times. I need you to go back and actually watch the game. I need you to go see that that Wemby had 26 points, but he was 6 for 21 from the field. I need you to see that he was frustrated. I needed you to see that he had blow-bys, catch, sweep, and go.
Hey.
You know, and so about Karl Anthony Towns. So again, we could sit up here, we could talk about a whole lot of things, but let's talk about the greatness in this run that the New York Knicks are having.
You said he had Karl Anthony Towns' bass in his voice, right? He played with that bass as well. I want to give nod to one day. Stephen A., you might need to find some wood to knock on, because the New York Knicks have not lost in 42 days. In 42 days.
The NFL draft. They haven't lost since the NFL draft. That's how long it's been.
Well, there's a way you look at it. You can look at it, they haven't lost in 42 days. They haven't lost since the NFL draft. In my opinion, they haven't lost since I almost had a stroke on television.
I was there, and I had to call my doctor and say, please go to Washington, D.C. to save this man. The reason I mention that is because I want to give a nod to one game that happened on May 19th, the Eastern Conference Finals, Game 1. They were in the hole of all holes, 22 points down. A lot of people were like, oh, wow, the Cavs are going to actually do this and win Game 1. And what happened? They pounded, and they pounded, and they finished, and they finished. To me, this was probably one of the most impressive games, because it's not just going up big and cruising. It's how do you respond when you are down? This team was down. They were in the Garden. They were coming off of a long rest, and they just dug deeper and deeper and deeper. And so I look at the portfolio that they've built so far this postseason, and that one game showed me the heart and soul of New York, and endeared. It made New Yorkers, it made Stephen A. believer.
Yeah.
Because the day after, he was like, look what happened. I called for everybody's jobs. I said everyone is sus. And what happened the next day? Oh, we win, and we've been winning since.
I didn't call for everybody's job. What I said was, you better not lose this damn series. You better not lose this damn series, or everybody's head is going to roll.
Isn't that the same thing?
No. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing, because I wasn't calling for it in the moment. I was telling them to wake the hell up if you want to remain gainfully employed. Mike Brown was going to lose his job. Listen, we can sit up here and act like we don't know. If the New York Knicks had got bounced out in the first round by the Atlanta Hawks, Mike Brown would not be the head coach of the New York Knicks.
But I'm talking
right
Eastern
now.
Conference Finals.
I'm just telling you, they wouldn't have been. They wouldn't
True,
have been.
fair.
He'd have lost his job.
Yeah.
Karl Anthony Towns or somebody else might have gotten traded. We ain't thinking about trading him now. It would have been I'm telling you, it would have been wholesale changes. Had they lost in the first round, it'd have been over. It'd been over.
And listen, but that's how dominant the Knicks have been. Because remember, I was one of the ones, too, saying, oh, the Knicks are playing with house money. They were the biggest winner at the trade deadline because Giannis didn't get moved. And we all know that Giannis wanted to be in New York. That conversation got quiet. that conversation is no longer. They're not even talking about Giannis anymore. But because that's the play of Karl Anthony Towns. So again, I think it was either Chanae or Stephen A. was you probably that just said earlier in the show, and Brunson was still mad after the game.
It was me.
You know why? Because he understands that happy teams don't win NBA championships. You can't get happy. And that was the biggest concern. And that was the biggest concern that I had when I watched the San Antonio Spurs have that show these emotions.
Game 7,
right? And KG somewhat called them out on this show. And you know I can't say the language that he said. But he actually called Wemby out on it. I didn't have a problem with Wemby showing his emotions, but I did bring up my time in 2012 with the Thunder when we made it to the NBA Finals, and that was their first time. It was my third time, and I was watching Russ, KD, Serge. They were celebrating. They were happy, and I'm saying, hey, man, we're going against the Miami Heat over there that just lost in the NBA championship.
Let me take a moment to give your boys some love. Let me tell you something right now. Kevin Garnett has to watch his mouth. And let me tell you why he has to watch his mouth, his language. Because we need to listen to this man talk basketball. Kevin Garnett is special. I mean, I'm telling y'all right now, I can't get enough of watching Kevin Garnett talk basketball. I wish he was here with us right now. I love, but you know, the language ain't
suitable for him.
That's the problem. That's the only problem. Because when this brother breaks it down and giving you real talk on the game of basketball, which he always does, Kevin Garnett is must watch. I'm telling y'all right now, I love that brother. He's a good brother, too. I love him to death. But his mouth, the language.
We cleaned it up. We can roll some clips on this show.
We're going to work on it. Next time I'm in L.A., I'm going to go to
that brother.
Good luck.
I've been asking him for years. I've been asking him for years.
I got you.
You can give him a try.